And then you can see here, 60% of the farmers rely on the government aid. If we are not really able to develop the capacity of the farmers to adapt to the changing environment, and this kind of situations become more frequent, and then what happens? Most of the global money just will go to this. So instead, this money should be used for strengthening the capacity of the farmers to adopt. Finding new technology, accelerate the adoption of the technology. Yeah. So there are many kind of protection for farmers is not being developed. Have you heard about climate insurance? Climate insurance. Have you heard about that? It's different from the common insurance. Climate insurance index. This is also part of international response to the climate change in order to protect the farmers. But we know in the case of Indonesia, no one wants to buy insurance. We buy trading. Yes.
Also about the CO2 trading. Are you agree with that?
Yeah.
Is that good for Indonesia? We cannot explore our coal under below the forest if we agree with the CO2 trading. In my thing.
Trading. So in the context of, I will go into that session, but I just do very short. Every nation has a responsibility for reducing the emission. Trading is only delay the emission a bit. For example, why trading is happening? There are two. One because of cap. So the emissions being capped for the industries. So for example, some company based on the national regulation is common in the whole countries, like in America, for example. They set up cap of the emission to a certain level. So if it is beyond that cap, so they have to offset that. Because of it, they buy the credit. Because during that time, they cannot steal, they still use all technology, they cannot change the technologies, the emission is more than the cap. So for reducing that one, they buy credit. Where they buy local countries, not the industries, but also going to the public countries. So
it is like we are the waste hand for them. Is that true?
Sorry?
The waste hand, waste. The waste hand for them that they, emit some waste, and then we take their waste to our country. Is that go for it?
It's like dump.
Yeah.
So Indonesia is the problem is the dump site.
Yeah.
Not the whole country.
I'm so sad for that.
That's the old way of thinking. Yeah. But now we have to change that. Because why? We know that it is the mistake of developed countries in the past. But during that time, we do not know that the activities actually contribute to our climate change. But it is already happening. Now the developed countries are really able now to reduce the emission. Why? Because the technology is more abundant. They're clean. If you go to developed countries, clean air.
But America is not.
Huh? America, no. America, the government, yeah, that's the government, yes. But if you look at the federal government of California, they're very progressive. So not all the American like that, but if you go to the state, the federal, they are very different from president and the government. That's why now the government also create their own kind of alliance. So it's kind of against the president. But it's interesting. But then we talk about that and on. But of course, America still have a very high emission now. But that's not reducing as well. But the problem is, I will go into that part. When I talk about that part, yeah. But I will talk later on more on that, yeah. So this situation actually, most of our money will go for rehabilitation, subsidy, things like that. Of course, we will reduce also the rate of our performance. And then when we look at the situation now, this is the situation, the change of our temperature from year to year. From past to change. Yeah. near 1.5 degrees Celsius. The global target to avoid the dangerous effect of climate change, we have to limit to avoid the increase of the global temperature more than 2 degrees Celsius. If it is more than 2 degrees Celsius, then the impact of climate change will be huge and impossible to handle, and that it will use so much money for infrastructure all to become more climate passionate. Investment on irrigation, because irrigation become more fragile, more vulnerable, change the intensity, probably the duration, irrigation are also shortened, and we have to fix it. So much money to go if we have to establish stronger the system, irrigation system, they also need to spend more money. Therefore, mitigation and adaptation have to be done. Okay? How? You cannot just do mitigation and then adaptation or adaptation. So this actually the situation. So if the increase of the global temperature exceeds 1.5 degrees Celsius, then the effect of climate change will be difficult to handle. So these are decisions that is actually based on the assessment done by the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. So this is the situation now. It is almost close to 1.5. You look at here, close to 1.5. And then this is reflected on the red color showing the level of additional risk due to climate change. If it is get red, and then the risk is become very, very high. Unique and threatened system, and this large-scale singular event. So if it is go into red, what does that mean for this one? We are going to expose into fact of climate extreme event where we never have it before. Very, very extreme. Yeah. And the impact also becomes very severe in some places, but less in other places. So it's very, very across the area. Distribution of the impact is the same. Extreme event has become stronger and stronger. So you can see here, if we go into 2 degrees, all are become red. That's why the global communities agreed to hold the increase of the global temperature below 2 degrees Celsius. This I agreed under the Paris Agreement in 2016. In 2015. Paris in 2015, and most of the countries ratified in 2016. If you remember, one of the international agreements which is taken into force less than 3 years is the Paris.
Take himself out from the Paris Agreement just last week.
Yeah, but that's why the federal government are very angry for that. Oh. They also create their own ideas to combat climate change. Trump, of course, he was my last for 1 term, changing the policies. But anyway, this is quite interesting. The Paris Agreement is not very different with Kyoto Protocol. The political pressure to all countries become stronger and stronger if they are not really perform. But at the same time, for our case, for the local countries, we also need to show what are the commitment of local countries realizing the commitment and supporting us. If it is not, then of course we can achieve together what we would like to achieve without meeting the global target of avoiding the increase of global temperature less than 2 degrees. So these are the situation. Back to your question. Now for the country now, they already start reducing the emission. And to 2050, the whole country targeted to reduce the emission close to 0.
Is that possible?
Technology might possible. Let's see. Let's discuss about that. Yeah. These are developing countries. What it means, we will mimic what's happening in developed countries.
We also go up our emission the same way of countries, and then we reduce it later on. But what happened? Now we are going to overtake the emission of developed countries. Now 50% of the emission of the global come from developing countries. So if developed countries are able to meet this while we do not, and then the impact is still there. So we have to participate together, but with respective capability, considering the capacity of each country, and also common but differentiated responsibility. The responsibility is being differentiated among the countries depending on the capacity of the country. And that's why this development might get more support compared to developing countries. Transfer of technology to be accelerated. So of course, we need to list the promise by 2050 under BAU emission from Asia will be about 50% of global emission. Are we going to be locked in the type of high energy development? We still rely on private car, luxury lifestyle. One house has 3 cars, 5 cars. The more you rich, because you have become rich here. No mass transportation. All we still rely on fossil fuel. So we are being blocked with fossil fuel while we have abundance of renewable energy. Yeah. So if we just lock in this, and then we are going to be exposed to this situation with high damage on economy and natural system, as I explained before. Even though the current climate action event have already implication on our economy. You can see just in the disaster recovery in 1.5 years, in Indonesia context, equivalent to 0.1% of GDP. Huge amount of money already. Yeah. So the developing country need to leapfrog the development. Now we have to still okay increase, but we have to reduce rapidly, not like this one. Yeah. So the way in Paris Agreement, the peak of emission has to achieve as soon as possible. So that means we have to reach our peak of emission as soon as possible and then reduce it. Or like this, so we can starting from here, but it's more harder. This will happen when, if the transfer technology is accelerated and also more financial support provided and capacity development. Without that, it's very difficult. So Asia countries need to introduce innovative technology and leapfrog in the development in order to be able to move down the pathway to low carbon development. So this only being able to do if we have what? Science. We need science for that. So these are actually the facts of our development can be. So we can go from here into meeting the target. So we increase the level of prosperity. But this one is ideal. Per capita emission we can keep low. But in many cases we go into this direction if the type of development that we do is this one. Yeah? So what does that mean? The more developed we emit more emission, but we are going to expose it to risk of collapse. Because the climate change will also affect the development itself. So what we need to do, we still can increase the emission, but then after that we reduce it. So we should not allow this path. Yeah. Now, what are the Paris Agreement now? As I said before, the Paris Agreement agreed to limit the increase of the global temperature below 2 degrees and pursuing effort to limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And many of the parties or nation or country who ratify the Climate Change Convention has submitted their intended national development contribution. The intention. Okay, in Indonesia, for example, the intention is we commit to reduce the emission by 29% in 2030. That's Indonesian government. Malaysia, for example, commit, if I'm not mistaken, about 50%, 35% through their own budget. Philippines also commit the same. That's the intention. Intention, that's intention. Intention,
but no reality.
not yet.
Yeah.
But once when you ratify the Paris Agreement, so you need to submit the NDC. Without I. Not intended but national development contributions. So Indonesia has submitted their national development contribution, because we ratified that already. Yeah. And then the UNFCCC actually to do the analysis, they look at all the submitted agencies. It's very unfortunate if all the intention is really can be realized. The increase of the global temperature is still more than 2 degrees Celsius. 2.7. If what they commit under the NDC is being met. So you can see here, 2.7 all red. So we are exposed to all risks of climate change. Okay? So it's not, that's why what people say, climate change is the single biggest threat to a sustainable future. The single greatest threat. But at the same time, addressing climate change presents a golden opportunity to promote prosperity, security, and brighter future for all. Why that? Can you translate this kind of sentence? If you look at this, how are we going to say that the climate change, addressing climate change presents a golden opportunity? Why that? Based on my explanation before, why that? Someone would like to contribute to say something on that? So what does it mean to address climate change? Addressing climate change, we really need to have a very good spatial plan. So we cannot just develop a spatial plan. It's not really considered, for example, function of the areas, location function, conservation function, production function, and things like that. Also, the critical information have to be open, to be avoided. What else? We have to increase the productivity of land. Why we need that? Because the population will grow. We need more food. If the productive crop is still very low, and then the demand for land also expanding. If the demand for land is expanding, and then it will affect our forests. Again, increasing the deforestation. If the deforestation increase, we also increase the impact. So, how to do that? Of course, accelerating, increasing the crop productivity will also give us the benefit. So we need to put more funding for accelerating the finding of new technology. Remember, in doing that, we can have what? Support from developed countries. So by doing that, we can really very smart and we can accelerate our development. Accelerate the new use of the development of technology, advanced technology. So we still continue the development, and then we can move into the more resilient system by taking support Of course, we need to really look at our resources and how we can really optimize the use of funding from private, from civil society, not only just from the government, and then we need to have strong coordination, collaboration across the stakeholders. Now, the private has taken initiative, for example. What the initiative? For agriculture commodities, for example, remember sustainable commodity. Before also non-tariff barrier, you know that? You know about carbon footprint? Carbon footprint? Yes? What? Say?
Carbon footprint means someone take action in how to reduce their ecological footprint by reduce waste, zero waste, for example. Yeah.
So you mean that through the life cycle, actually, they reduce the emissions through various activities.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of commodities, when you produce unit of products, coffee, for example, export into local countries, they will set up a standard. If the emission in producing this coffee is beyond a certain value, they will not buy it. So they set up a barrier, tariff barrier, or non-tariff barrier. And then we look at and evaluate if the coffee is being established by confronting the forest man, and calculate the emission and processing of the coffee to become a product has to use so much energy, come from the fossil fuel, and then contribute so much on the emission, and then we calculate for unit per ton of coffee is being produced, actually emit 20 kilogram of CO2, for example. And then when the standard set up 50, and then our product will not be paid by the market. Now all the buyer countries, local countries, are coming also to produce commodity, without increasing the emission. So they set up like toward zero deforestation by 2050.
Is it the same like some wood product we see?
Same.
FSG
Yeah.
wood, yeah.
Same.
Same like that.
All in certification.
Yes.
So the purpose of the tech initiative on that. Now Indonesia also conducted the certification system of palm oil. Don't go palm oil is one of the main factors. What is ISPO? Indonesia Sustainable Palm Oil.
Yeah.
RSPO, Accountable Sustainable Palm Oil. So they set up cut off in 2005. So what does that mean? The RSPO commit, if the palm oil companies establish a plantation after 2005, by converting the forest, they have to pay compensation. Otherwise, the product cannot be sold to the buyer. So now, the situation becomes more and more in the future. So does that mean we are pushed to do or more into good practices? We have to use good farming practices. So that's why climate change provides all the opportunity we are seeing very smart. So we cannot just ignore. I don't care. Because by cutting the forest, I get money from the wood, and use the money for establishing the palm oil. But remember, when you have this system set up, no one wants to buy your product. And again, the company cannot grow. So we have to reconsider this. So that's why there are so many opportunities. Actually, we are really thinking very smart of that. That's why we can really come up with a very good strategy how we can address the climate change, but contribute to the fall. Yeah. So how much more than we can emit? How much more than we can emit? So 2 degrees Celsius is the quota in the atmosphere. So we can only emit 1,000 to 1,200 megatons CO2. If our target is 1.5, the quota in the atmosphere is only just 500 to 600 megatons of CO2. How much is our emission now? Remember my previous slide? How much? 50 megaton. 1000 divided by 50, how many years left? 20 years left. So if we do not able to change the way our will be developed, still, as business as usual, just say we don't increase, just keep 50 gigaton of CO2 per year. By 20 years, all the quota finish. And the change of increasing global temperature more than 2 degrees will be very high. In 1.5 degree, 500 divided by 20, 10 years back. All right. So the Paris Agreement would like to change this because you remember this one? Yeah. If we're going up to more than 2 degrees left, so the same one is 1.5, but it's not easy. It's a bit hard. Yeah. But in order to achieve this, the only way is we have to reduce a certain time later on, no more emission. Because what we did, emit very little, we still feel the amount. Why our quota is only that 52,000 if we started it today. So this is actually the blue line. We call it RCP. This scenario. This is the scenario of the global commitment to reach the target of 1.5 degree. So what we can see here, by 2070, emissions already is zero. So the rate of emission with the rate of sequestration balance. Yeah. And we still have energy used probably, but we sequester back by having or maintaining our forest, with retention and so on. So have to be balanced. So this is the only thing that we can do. But we know that if we move into this scenario, you can see here, it might be degrees Celsius, but it is business as usual, the line is going up like this. Do not care. We go into this direction. And we call it scenario 8.5. Yeah. Because of the situation, NEC is only able to limit 2.7 degrees Celsius. The way all the parties are requesting to submit every 5 years the new commitment, which is under the global stocktake process. We call it global stocktake. So just review every 5 years to evaluate the progress and resubmit the NDC with different emission reduction target. No backsliding. Why? Because now the current commitment is only able to limit the greenhouse gas by and limit the increase of global temperature by 2.7. When the global has 2 degrees, of course, the current commitment is still not really meet the target. That's why we have to submit, change the target to deeper emission reduction target. So we call it no backsliding. But of course, it's being evaluated based
Belum enak ini. Oke, Pak. Gak tahu aku bukan bayar 100.000. Dikasih kunci. Kopi nak kotak.
by having this, and then government issue a regulation, for example. For this cement industry, the cap is 20 ton of CO2 per unit product. So if there is industry more than 20, so they will buy credit from the company who have less. So the trade is not go outside but still within the country. But this accelerates the exchange of technology across the industries. That's what's happening in European countries through EUTS, emission trading scheme of European Union. So by having a local market, it will be accelerate the transfer of technology. Yeah. So for example, if you have, for example, if a company uses more technology, then probably it's not less efficient, cost a bit more, and now I have to change to the new one. And because the other industry also have already used it. So by doing this kind of regulation, we push everybody, company to also adopt better technology. And also contribute to the co-benefit cleaning our air. Less pollutant as well. So there are so many kind of initiatives that we can do. And then how we are going to tap the support from our local countries, and then go back to make sure that it's desperate more about carbon trading, whether it's really give a benefit or not. Now, for example, the carbon trading and the other statement, when we call it ITMO, International Trading Mitigation Outcome, the change of the carbon trading terminology. The term is changing into ITMO, not carbon trading anymore, but International Transfer of Mitigation Outcome. Mitigation outcome is emission reduction, we transfer it. Now, for example, between Japan and Indonesia, we set up GCM, Joint Crediting Mechanism. And how to avoid the problem that is it? It's just, developed countries, that's only the downside of all technology on our countries. Yeah. We need to set up our own rule. Say, for example, if the government already set up local market and we have a standard for certain technology, and Indonesia will only tap the technology from others. For the trading, is only the one who can transfer better technology than the best one that we have in the country. You know that cement industry, the technology being adopted by current the industries vary from good into bad because we take an average and cap. Remember, there are some good, there are some bad. The good one is that they already implement best available technology in the country. But if we would like to go into that scheme, we only want to accept that if they provide better technology than the best available technology in the country. So by having that one, what does that mean? We got the support, and we also have new technology. So this is accelerating the adoption of new technologies, more innovative technology.
We get the better product.
That's right. Yeah. So this is only the smart way how are we going to deal with that. Yeah. Well, of course, it's two or policy context. What we can do at the ground level, at the student level. So there are so many things, and so they have been exposed into that many times. Yeah. Let's see this is another situation. Just to show the climate situation. This one is the Paris. This one is business as usual. If you don't care, and this other situation you can see is different. This one is the temperature. You can see here. Under the RCP 825, temperature go up to more than 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. Yeah? This is what we expect. And you can see the chain on average precipitation is 0.2, 8.5. So you can see the chain of intensity is increasing. Look at the color. It's darker than this one. This comes from the, we call it general circulation model, climate model that I just mentioned before. Chain is sea level rise. Sea level. You can see also here. So many of small islands will be inundating. That's why small island state also thinking about the issue of loss and damage. You know the issue of loss and damage also? What loss and damage means in the context of climate change?
Because the level of sea is rising, and then the small islands will sinking, like in Riau Islands, province.
Yeah.
And then Novita will
Loss and damage or residual impact. Actually, it's beyond the capacity of us to manage that. So we have do the mitigation already, and we still do adaptation, but impacts still remain. This is the residual impact. Yeah. For the small island, they do, but they cannot avoid anymore. If it's been inundated, where they have to go? That's the only country they have. So loss and damage become very big issues in negotiation for the small island state. So many, yeah. So now whether they are now which country they would like to accept these people if the island becomes inundated. It is unavoidable. It's lost. Yeah. So this actually issue of loss data also being addressed in the Paris Agreement. So back again, so the Paris Agreement is a cyclical place in the review process. What does that mean? Cyclical. It is a cycle. So we commit, we give pledge, Indonesia reduce emission, and then this we review. After the review, if we progress very well, the commitment and support that we receive also good, and then probably we can increase our commitment. The spread new pledge. So you look at the process here. So we increase the level of carbon investment and cooperation depending on the finance and technology cooperation. So we look at the commitment of the developed country in terms that provides support for us. Whether this is a promise. In the past, it is promise because many developing countries will state it. They say they provide this much amount of money, but again, the money is not there. That's what's happening. So we don't have a trust, mutual trust. But through this process, we expect that we review together what actually support provided, what are the progress that have been made by the developing countries, and just by having this kind of process, and then we create a mutual trust. So we can increase cost of the mitigation because we can use the more advanced technology. So by accelerating the transfer of technology, it's depending how actually countries are going to respond to that. Yeah. So this will increase the effectiveness of emission of climate target action. Then, like I said before, for example, the private countries only set up kind of cap for certain industrial activities, for example. And then if there's over from developed countries, and then the government rules actually we only can accept the better technology than one, than the best available technology in the country. So it's that we accelerate the adoption of better technology. In the past, we have to wait because if you want to change that, gain money. But through this actually, the additional cost is covered by them. So we don't need, so we still can buy with the price is the same with the best technology that we have. The additional cost is covered by the whole country. So we go to technology, we also get the support funding. But again, the emission reduction can be transferred. But it doesn't matter. As compensation, they got the transfer of credit, but we get the better technology. And also increase the productivity, the efficiency and everything. So we get more benefit in terms of the carbon. Yeah. So these are the things, the change of the way of issue related to the carbon credit. Yeah. But again, what I call the Paris Agreement. When we talk this, can we just claim our emission is this much? How to make everyone believe? How the global community believe with our claim? If global community do not believe in our claim, who will want to provide us the support? They will provide support if they believe that we really perform. Alright? So the issue of Paris Agreement is transparency. This is the core. We have to be transparent. We have to report what are actually the level of emissions from different sectors. What are the progress we made? Yeah? And what are the support that we receive? Yeah? So the support that will come from here, finance, yeah? Technology. And then the global stock that I mentioned before will evaluate how much we perform. Yeah? It is being reported under communication, we call it communication of the NDC. And then we know that there's support to be received, and then we increase our confidence that we are really able to reduce more emission. And then we get new emission reduction targets. So these are process, yeah, like the core of the Paris Agreement. Transparency, the same with us also. Are we transparent or not in our own country? What are the key of transparency? Transparent of course, data that we report is true. Not only just actual value. That's why, in the context of that, I was also given also part of transparency, the issue of we call it MRV. All the data that we have done have to be reserved. And then recordable. Once we have recorded, then we will check whether it is true or not. Have to be verifiable. And then we look at there, MRV have to be implemented by the country, block back. But we have in Indonesia case, for example, we have monitoring and evaluation of our development. What are the process being done for that? In one. Check whether the program is really implemented, and to check whether the money is being absorbed. The budget is actually according to the plan. Whether the program is really successful or not on the ground is only being checked in 1 year or 2 years. But sometimes not. That's why we go back into the program on the land rehabilitation. Reforesting the area, the job is, if we accumulate the money that has been used for land rehabilitation, the total area might be more than the size of Indonesia. But if we look at the map, the impact is very small. But the amount of money is being spent for this one. It is not very high. Why is that? Because the way of the monitoring and evaluation is being done is not really force the implementer of the project.
It's not based on the fact.
No, it is technically learning because the moment if you do not really implement the program, it will be fine. Right. So in the case of the rehabilitation, what the situation is, for example, I think you can see for other countries. What actually the target for the realization of the program have to be at least 85% of the target. So if the really plan, the area for the target is 1,000 hectares, so at least 850 hectares have to be planted. It is planned. So they really meant plant the trees. That's the first year of the evaluation. Okay, it is according to the program. They meet the standard, the rule. The second year, the one that has been planted, at least 56% survive. They need growing. Only 56% more than 55. You know, because it's not easy to make sure that the tree is really growing. Then they go to check the ground again. 56% is achieved. Finished. So based on the project, it is you have meet your meet the standard. So if you meet the obligation. So free, finished. So you are really get the target of the program. Then there's independent evaluation that is that of the 56%, the healthier trees is only 26%. The remaining is not healthy. There is a guarantee that this unhealthy trees will survive after year 2. But the problem is when we do the monitoring and evaluation only in 2 or 3 years only. So that's one aspect of it. Yeah. So similar also with others. So but if we change the way we do the monitoring and evaluation, the process of litigation also improve. And then we can have better data over the phone. The data is needed for the open work planning. The problem is need the data. If the data is rubbish, the planning also rubbish. And many policymakers sometimes do not believe in the data themselves. Because they know the situation. So by having this actually push also for us to really improve the data management, improve the quality data. We need to set up the SEAQIS process, quality assurance, quality control. The transparency has to be implemented. In the case of Indonesia, what is our government response to this? We come up with one data policy. We come up with one map policy. Because map is actually varied from one sector to another sector, even though the same map. So now we come up with one practice that is consistent, and also one data policy. Data sometimes come from different, we also have different data. And I think the other countries also seem to have similar problem. If you are facing, if you ask the student to do research, and get the data from here and get that, and then the data will be different. So this is actually the data that we use for setting up our development plan. If we can improve the quality of our data, then also we can improve the quality of our planning process. Yeah. So we have to do that anyway. So this is actually why I go back to the Ban Ki-moon. There are so many opportunities that we can gain. Yeah. All right. Just move quickly. So now we are talking about mitigation and adaptation. So mitigation, as I mentioned before, it is addressing the root causes of the global warming and climate change by reducing greenhouse gases emission. Yeah. So mitigation, if we are talking with the disaster community, mitigation means reducing the impact. For the climate change, reducing the impact, we call it adaptation. So we use different terminology between disaster community and the climate change community. But they are talking about the same thing. Yeah? But the disaster community more understand the current hazard, not the future hazard. While the climate change community not only understand current but also put in the context of long term. Yeah. So while adaptation seeks to lower the risk posed by the consequences of the climate change, not in the future. So remember that. So the mitigation actually how you can reduce as much as possible. The emission comes from deforestation and emission also from the use of fossil fuel. How much you can reduce. And the second is how you can absorb or remove as much as possible the greenhouse gas in the atmosphere back into land or into ocean. But the technology in ocean is still very limited, but now we are talking about the blue carbon. The blue carbon talking about carbon in the ocean. But we are still on terrestrial carbon. Blue carbon become more now. We can discuss about it. So these are the mitigations. So how are we going to reduce as much as possible, and then how are we going to remove the greenhouse gas in the atmosphere into land and ocean. Yeah. And then, of course, if we have a land, we also can implement a technology with low emission technology. Yeah, even though we can't use the land for many activities, but how we can also implement low carbon technology in a piece of land. not only absorb but also reduce the level of emission from the use of the land. Yeah. And then of course, in order to know what type of mitigation that we need to do, we need to understand what are the main sources of the emission, as I mentioned before. So we know these are the main source of the emission, so these are the main strategy how we can reduce the emission from the main source. Yeah. And this actually the source, as I said before, exploration of the fossil fuel, industrial and commercial polluting activities, electricity for the processing, because of non-efficient use of the energy. Of course, potential solution, for example, the fossil fuel, the gas will remain on that, we need to fry the gas. Because in the exploration, the gas releases methane. Methane is 21 tons of CO2 in terms of warming the atmosphere. So by flaring the methane converted into CO2. This methane, yeah, CO2 is one, but methane is 21 tons of CO2. Flaring is also one of the report if we only have the oil company. So the sweat gas flaring technology is also now being adopted by many of the gas companies. Use clean technology, clean coal. Yeah. Increase share of renewable energy in energy mix. If we are now, for example, you remember in Indonesia again, in Java we have electricity, we have line. What are the emission factor of the line? You know, if you use 1 kilowatt hour in your house, how much emission? Because you take the electricity from the line, from the PLN, from the electricity company, how much you emission? It's about 1.7 kilogram of CO2 per kilowatt hour. So the emission factor, depending on what? Whether it's 0.7 kilogram CO2 per kilowatt hour. So this value is determined by what? Yes. Yeah. This is the amount of emission that we are going to produce, depending on how much energy we use. So it is more on the energy efficiency. So in your house, if you during the day you put on the light, so you continue to emit because you use certain kilowatt hour. Yeah. Or you use television on, like no one watches the TV, it is also in emission. All being captured through the bill of you. You have to pay electricity to the electricity company. But if you use 10 kilowatt hour, so it means that you emit how much? 0.7 multiplied by 10. But my question is 0.7 kilogram of CO2 per kilowatt hour, this comes from where? Depend on what? Depend on energy source used by electricity state company, by the PLN. So in PLN actually, if most of the solar company come from coal, the emission factor might go into 1. But in Japan, some come from hydropower, some come from geothermal. Yeah. So mix of this, we call it energy mix, actually lower the emission factor. So in Java, if we produce more hydroelectric power, we reduce the emission factor of the line system. So there are two sides. One, we reduce the emission from increasing the share of renewable energy in our energy mix. But at the same time, we also improve or increase the efficiency using the energy. Increasing use of energy efficiency is very depend on human behavior, our lifestyle. Yeah. So how we educate our students also to be more energy efficient. Yeah, so you can see here so in many village, for example, in the village, for example, is not being reached by the line system by electricity company. The PLN do not really need to establish the line into that remote area. Use the renewable resources available in that area. Provide the support, like solar panel or wind or dynamic kind of resources, hydropower. If it is microhydro, for example, to ensure the sustainability of the water supply. So that means that to maintain the catchment area. The community have to catch how to maintain that. So these are the things that there are so many things that you can do with community in order to protect our planet. Yeah. and social transport system. I said before, more private car. Lifestyle again. Solution to improve mass transportation system. Complexity. The complexity can be actually create group of people, or the complexity is that in one side actually have office there, mall there, so they don't have to travel far to meet their need. And then improve pedestrian sidewalk. They encourage people to use walk or bike. Yeah? This is completely like this. And I say I prefer to use my bike instead of my car. So there are so many things that we can do for that. Poor sanitation is also another problem. You know, organic waste, dump that in the dump site. You need to put in the dump site. What the emission will be? They will reduce methane. This is what people position in anaerobic condition. We just spread over here and there, and aerobic condition. Aerobic is able to release. And then how to reduce? Of course, is recycle, reduce. Yeah. Reduce from the source. How you can reduce it from the source? Make use of the waste for do recycling, you can reduce. Yeah. Then reuse again. So all actually reduce the waste from the source. Then we know many countries also have good practices. One, you remember? West Bank, Bank Sampah. West Bank. Yeah. Yeah. Waste degradation. Segregation.
Biodegradable from non-biodegradable.
Now, actually, this will be one, right? Yeah. Send it on to mixed waste. So you have to separate. You have to save. Yeah. Composting the organic waste to become manure. There are so many activities that can be done. Third, the West Bank system. It is encouraged the community to really separate their waste and get the money. You did that already. Yeah. That's very good. I'm sure that all countries have these good practices. But there are many innovations. Say, for example, in one of the area here in Penang, have a problem of accessing clean water. They have problem accessing clean water, even though they are very high, but they have to dig very deep to get water. But there are many spring water. Spring water also need to be flowed into the houses. And there is no state clean water provide service into that. And then they collaborate among the communities to tap the spring water and create a system to pipe that into household. And they also create meters. So they have to pay certain, but it's much lower than the bidding of the company or the end. But how they pay? Because there are some of us also poor. What they do, they can pay with their waste. So that's kind of the waste. Okay, normally they do not care with waste, just throw it away. But now because they can pay with that, and they also live with the waste bank. Waste bank. So they separate that. So because they don't have to pay, they can pay what? Pay with the waste for paying the bill for the water. So there are many kind of initiatives that can be done to contribute. Sometimes we don't think about that, but actually we contribute into climate change. And or they can also pay by planting one tree. So if the bill is this much, and they have to pay in a year, that's equal to one tree. They can plant also a tree. So there are many ways how actually we can embrace the adoption of best practices, but the same also understand the needs of the household, whether it is for clean water or any type of needs. Yeah. So this I do the process, and I know that. So once the waste transfer into the bank, you deposit, so you have certain money there. Yeah. They can use water, gas, by electricity bill, by clean water. There are so many types of things that can be done there. Yeah. Of course, and also convert the waste into a usable product. So these are many initiatives done by the communities. These are the product. All African countries have done this. but how you can upscale or replicate it in many villages. Now this is the need of multi-method. And probably you can encourage the student. Okay, students work with the communities. So during the holiday time, for example, you provide an extracurricular activities. You can also, one activity benefit actually expose the student to good practices and also can contribute and collaborate with communities how they can set out better life and contribute to better environment. Yeah. So the rest of it, very nice. So this one actually emission. Then we go into the agricultural products. Agricultural emission from agriculture. Waste so many values. You can also create kind of zero waste kind of farming system. Yeah. So production results, how they can recycle the waste. Yeah. So this actually the source of emission from agricultural products and use. So we need to understand this in order to set up what type of mitigation action that we can do. Yeah. For example, emission come from harvesting the wood. Yeah. So burning the biomass. You burn the biomass, emit. Then or the manure, you also emit. And then this of the fertilizer also emit the nitrous oxide. Rice paddy also emit the methane. Because all the organic and the rice field emits being flooded. So the organic matter will be decomposed under anaerobic condition. So the presence of methanogenetic bacteria and then we release the methane. So actually reducing emission from rice paddy increase the water use efficiency. So do not use continuous flooding for which is flooded to 20 centimeters. It's too much. Yeah, you can do intermittent irrigation. You flood for certain. Now, the human product is not exactly important. Why that? Because the farmer also think I don't want to take risk. I just use the fertilizer pesticide as much as possible to protect my crop. And also sometimes they use so much fertilizer. And actually, if you look at the content of fertilizer on the soil, for Alaina, for example, it is much, it's really higher than the normal one. So if you do not give fertilizer for 2 years, still fine. But the farmers do not want to, they still want to use fertilizer because they are still not very confident. But the data say that. And now change combination with organic fertilizer to fertilize again your soil. You see the organic fertilizer will increase the structure on the soil. So the soil, the respiration, the aeration, the pore in the soil become more, and also support the molecular section. More, so it will make the structures become better and better. So now actually we also have the product of that. So again, for livestock also using the use of the so check this out example. For breast, of course, illegality as the organized practice is also present. There are so many illegal activities, unauthorized conversion, and breeding with fire is contribute all to the emission. Now we look for this more long-life pharmaceutical product. The principle on the trees, when you harvest the trees, not all is being emitted to the atmosphere. Some will still remain in the land or in terrestrial system. If you convert it into long life product like this one. If the wood become houses, furniture, your lifetime is 100 years, so it means there will not be anything. But the ones being released, suddenly it is being fired or being decomposed. Yeah, then you have to remind. If more fraction of the wood is being harvested converted into long life product, it means that emission comes down. Alright, so it means that use more land for planting trees, use more fraction of the trees for long life product. It means then you put more carbon in on the ground. So planting trees will remove the CO2 from the atmosphere and then store longer in on the land. So to produce production of long life product. Yeah, that's clear. More alternative livelihood. So tourism. How we can protect the conservation forest, protection forest. Then they also can get money for that. So all the activities done by the community, by the NGOs, provide alternative livelihood, because tourism can contribute also to the education. And for the land activities, say for example now farmers who actually do city beautification and use surrounding the forest. They know the forest actually is valuable program. But when they have children, because with the current productivity of their crop, when they have two children, they depend about 2 hectares. But if we more children, so the land is being distributed to the children, then the children also need still. But the land, because the productivity is very low, so the market is not enough. Then they expand and go to the forest again and grow. Now if you look at the productivity of coffee, for example, used by the farmer who lives around the forest, it is only 1/10 of the normal product a year. 1/10, and it's not very low. So you can imagine if it's being increased and use technology for that. Introduce better technology, and the livelihoods may increase, the prosperity will increase, and then the environmental will be saved. Yeah. And then from agriculture, from feed. So use of feed and agriculture of the grain, feed competition, continuous farming as I mentioned before, also getting so much of grain, or the sale of fertilizer. We can use organic farming, balance fertilizer, efficiency, improve water management, the feed land, or the grain, and so on. So in Finland, I'm sure that all in system I have, Malaysia did, and then these countries will have a feed land in Iceland. Only Malaysia and Indonesia, or there are some others. So the feed land, once we use it, and then if it is, because we want this feed land for other activities, we have to change it. Because the tree cannot grow, it is wild. So if the feed land is being drained, because feed land contains 90% is organic. So it is being drained, they expose it to oxygen, and then we oxidize. And that's why the feed land will be decomposed very rapidly, and then we get less oxygen in the feed. So once feed is being converted, and then we emit the CO2 until the feed reaches. Until the feed subsidence at the world level. Up to the world level, then but probably if we use the polyculture, we also grade again to make them it become useful. So these are the problem why it become problem of using. But now the government is also set up a policy to moratorium. No more feed for the world. So we have to concern about the one that we have used we have to improve that. No more new implementation of the feed land. Now let's see, the policy is being signed by the president. But this also comes very close. Yeah. You can see here under implementation, you can convert the menu into private plan. There are so many kind of activities has been done as well. And this one for adaptation, one of the best practices. Implemented up to the community actually, other thing that makes the black actually is one of the new language that is shared by the farmers with our presentation. So this one of the problem in the SEAQIS, border between this Java and South Java. The problem they have is flood. Flood is happen very often. The investment training the farmer, 50% of farmers by right, since the land cannot be planted to do on one up to 4 months. All the water is flooding. Yes. So the rainy season they cannot plant because flooding all the time. So they only can plant during the recession period. So costing loss of 1.4 billion a year. Sometimes they have to be planting for 5 to 7 times. There's nothing here that can. And then we help them to map the climate risk in the village. And then they know that actually this actually what season actually what is affected by part of this time. So this one is officially. So this is another kind of map, climate risk map. So participatory process. So we educate the farmers to understand what are the type of risks that they are facing and how they can collaborate together. Yeah? Because they cannot just handle the disaster by themselves. And then the best practice is actually, if it is being planted all the time, can we create floating mass? So they create one, like this one, so we create this organic farming. So the soil is changed into but also right house. And then they plant the right on that okay, this one is the floating so you can see here, so this is implemented. During the rainy season, normally they cannot have crops. But by this technology, they can.
So the farmers just
what about the coin Africans that people use? Is it the same or the quality of the
yeah, it's quite a right.
Okay, it's just being based on the study that we have, our students, production of this crop is higher compared to the normal. Because they use more the organic fertilizer. So you can see here the farmers have been participating in this one price. This is the farmer practice. Sustain opportunity.
any so this is actually the chance of the initiative. Here, we should also set the no problem. Yeah. Well, now, but we look at in terms of value productivity, it is much higher. So the benefit that they got by using this, we can cover. But again, whether the government are really provided by the government because they know that production is much higher, they can pay it. But again, the government can put guarantee, support the bank, provide them. So again, pay into the government policies. So all have to be play a role. So we actually provide kind of support and science. The NGO actually facilitate the farmers, and then like the private bank, for example, provide to support this kind of initiative. But at the same time, government provide the guarantee. So the same with private investment. When we have a private investment, is one of the way also to understand the actual private. How many of you have heard about private investment? It's over time. Okay, so you want to know what is climate insurance? The climate insurance is actually when the common in conventional insurance, what do you insure? Well, education, agriculture, crops, and then we can claim when we get sick. We get sick, fail, yeah, die. What are the problems? What difference between insurance for human and with crops? The biggest of the insurance, the higher risk, the higher premium. If you insure your car, I'm sure that no one wants to hit other or to make your accident. Yes. You never want to do that. Of course, you're trying to avoid. So probably the chance of getting accident is very low. So that's why the premium is not fine. Lifetime insurance also, you pay only maybe 1,000 or 10,000 a month. Because your age might be more, you cannot predict, but on average, you say I have lifetime 65 years. If you take the insurance in 40, the premium is less. But if you age only 55, the premium is higher. Because the risk is become higher. Because in 65 you might die, you have to pay fully. So that's why the premium is higher. The same with agriculture. The agriculture is more uncertain. The risk is much higher. That's why the premium for agriculture is so high. No one wants to buy it. That's why the insurance for agriculture is subsidized by the government. But the concept of climate insurance index helps to protect the farmers in bad years. We know that extreme climate might happen in 1 to 4 years. Can farmers make use of the good years to increase their productivity? So we know that in 5 years, probably farmers only exposed to high risk only 1. In 4 years, if the farmers use better technology, they might get higher yield. But in the case of bad years, they covered by the insurance. So in order to that, we need to know what type of climate that affects the crop. And then we evaluate, if rainfall during the planting
incident is less than 200 millimeters, normally top fail. We use 200 millimeters as an index. So whenever rainfall falls below 200, the farmers automatically get fined. They can claim. They don't have to go to the insurance company, transfer directly to the bank. So of course, reduce the transaction cost. Under conventional agricultural product, they need to check to the ground whether the crops really fail or not. How many farmers, how many much money that the insurance company pay for that. They pay the transaction, the payment is very high also because the transaction cost is very high. So the employment index and the price payment is very down, and the process of employment is more simple. Well, the challenge is you should not use the insurance. We have to make the insurance as part of the input for farmers. So now actually we cover the insurance company. The insurance company actually offered to the bank. Provide loan. Provide to the farmer. Help the farmers. Loan. Have to use it as a want to provide loan. Provide probably the farmers don't want. This is they know if the farmers better or not. Will provide using example point that I did. Okay, but I would like to give you time 5 minutes is not possible. 5 minutes if you like to or give your views or your opinion, please. No one? Yes.
Thank you for the very so I have this